Kombe sowani mumpuliriza bulungi wano wokulira okombe sowani. Muganda wange omusoga kodeyo wonna woli. Muganda ngo muganda nkulamusizaako wa Luganda kansula bulungi. Buno bakanjala bugendere bazadde mwenna abo mu kitundu ky'ebusoga n'abali mu Buganda. Mumpulirize bulungi nnyo. Nabaga video yale mugisalemu eddakiika 5 mugipostinge mujagala. Eno naye linga security alert. Naye ng'ebadde neekusifu nnyo. Simanyi lwaki Mzee Nyandwe Yoseri tibahabura otabayisirwa mutabani wa Kareje Sserezanga bisibe Museveni ne family ye tebaagala muntu gwe bayita Muganda n'omusoga bamugasseeko ku mawanga ge bataagala. Nkiddamu simanyi Nyandwe Yoseri omuganda kye yakola. Nyandwe simanyi Nyandwe Yoseri tibahabura simanyi musajja musoga na mukazi musoga kye yakola. Abazadde muwulirize. Ekitongole kibayita International Police Interpol ye polisi ekwasaganya okunoonya abazibe emisango mu nsi yonna. Ng'ekitongole ky'ofisi enkulu ey'ekitongole kino eri mu ggwanga lya Bufaransa wali headquarters. Wabula buli nsi erina office yaayo gye mugenda ne mufuna gye tuyita certificate of good conduct ekulaga nti olina musango gwonna era olifiri okutambula ensi yonna. Mayinza byange nsooka kunnyonnyola n'enkusomesa n'otegeera. Ekitongole kibayita International Police ye polisi y'ensi yonna esobola okunoonya omuntu yenna omuzi w'emisango n'emufuna. Era mubaagala okutambula mugendayo okufuna gye tuyita certificate of good conduct eraga nti olina musango gwonna. Wabula mu Uganda Museveni Interpol agikozesa okusiba abaana Abaganda n'Abasoga abasiba atya. Kyekyenjawulo kyenna bwe mba mpa information n'ogirambulula nsooka kukulambululira n'enkunnyonnyola otategedde n'enkuddiramu. Yoseri akozeseza ekitongole kya Interpol in the disguise okusiba abaana ab'obuwala n'abaana b'obulenzi Abasoga n'Abaganda abasiba atya. Mwenna abali mu Kampala, mwenna abali mu Buganda n'abali mu Busoga mu bitundu bino wammanga. Bw'obanga olina omuntu akola ku Nateete Regional Police, polisi y'e Nateete ennene. Bw'obanga olina Muganda akola ku polisi y'e Kajansi ennene. Bw'oba olina Muganda ng'akola ku polisi ya Jinja Road Police ennene. Ne Kawempe ne ku Olodi Kampala oba ye Kampala mukadde polisi emu ziri polisi 5 zino baziyita region. Nateete, Kajansi, Jinja Road, Kawempe ne Olodi Kampala ezo Busoga nja gifuna gye bujja ku katono. Ebikweko bwe bajja mu kitundu batandika okukwata abaana emisana bye bayita idle and disorderly. Omusirikale n'akusana agaleeta endaga muntu yo olaga overloaddawa oba ne bakola ekikweko ne bajja ne bakwata bukwasi. Ebikolwa bino babikola mu Buganda ne Busoga. Bwe bakwata abaana bammwe babatwala mu buduukulu ne batandika okwawulamu Omunyankole n'Omunyarwanda tebamukolako profile. N'amawanga amala profile bagikola ku Basoga Baganda strictly Basoga Baganda profile yeeruwa. Olukwata nga bakuggulako omusango. Bwe bakuggulako omusango nga bakusayiningisa empapula z'omusango ogwo tebakutwala mu kooti nga bakutwala mu ofisi ya Interpol nga bakuggyako fingerprints zo zonna engalo 10 nga baziggyako engalo 10 zonna nga baziggyako. System ya Interpol nga bakola transfer ey'omusango bakutaddeko ne fingerprints record zo nga bazisindika worldwide. Kiba kitegeeza nti already bamaze okussa mu ba international criminals abatakyasobola kufuna visa okufuna omulimu mu Uganda n'okubeera nga weeriranya ofisi yo n'ebibufuzi oba okusaba omulimu muntu wantu wonna. Kansubire ekinnyonnyodde bulungi nnyo. ngabe mbagamba ne mwewugusa oluvanyuma obikijja ne muga kile kyetu nga Lumbuye yakyogera n'olwalero bwenti oze mbagamba bakwata abaana abaganda bayola abantu babatusa ku police ne batandika okujjamu bebaagala abasigadde na bateeka ebbali nga beeki baagala muganda na musoga nga bakugulako omusango nga bakutwala mu office ya Interpol ku police okwo kweziri police nzibasomedde nga bakujjako fingerprints engalo 10 nga bateeka omusango go mu system nga bakuteeka mu office za Interpol ngegusasanya ensi yonna tosobola kufuna visa ya nsi yonna kubanga bajja kusaba criminal record yo bajja teeka bamanyako mu Interpol mu system ya embassy yonna iraga nti you are criminal kitegeeza tosobola kufuna visa mu Uganda tosobola kwesimba mu kifo kyonna kyabukulembeze n'okufuna omulimu office yonna system eno akabano kagikozesa okusibirayo abaana abaganda n'abasoga muli mu kifo kyonna kyonna eky'omulimu babalabe nga ba criminals nabagambako ekyali mu saidi z'ekawempa obwayise nga bakwata abaana baffe nga bakuteeka kati bafuna batandika system y'abazungu bakutwala mu kasenge nga waliwo measurements n'olinya wansi ng'olinye woti nga kuliko ebipimo byonna okuva wansi paka ku mutwe ne bakuba ekifaananyi nga weesimbye woti n'okyuka ne bakuba ekifaananyi n'okyuka ne bakuba ekifaananyi ne bamala okukolako measurements zonna abaali bagenzeko eriraaka ebintu babikola kati ne Interpol bwetu bikola bakuba ekifaananyi kino ekyobusimba ne bakuba ekyomukono gwa ddyo ne bakuba omukono gwa kkono ne bakujjako fingerprints zonna sisi nebifaananyi babeteeka mu system ne bakuclosinga kino bakikola mu nkola ey'okujja abaana abaganda mu kuvuganya ku mirimu ku byobufuzi n'obutaddamu kwesembeza kufuna kintu kyonna kyefaananyiriza visa n'obutaddamu kufuna good certificate of good conduct ekusobozesa okuba nti ogenda e Bulaaya visa y'osobola ogifuna somehow somewhere but wajja kujjawo option ya certificate of good conduct bwe banaateeka erinnya lyo mu system bijja kulaga nti you're criminal you can't get a certificate of good conduct nsaba ba MP balooya abasajja ba Kabaka n'abasajja ba Kyabazinga muveeyo mukonde eminga ekikolwa kino omusajja Omunyarwanda Yoseri kyakola ebintu bino babikola mpola nenga bigenda mu maaso bajja abaana bamwe mu system babalebeseza okufuna emirimu babalebeseza obulamu kati batandise ba profilinga kamba jjukize nabagamba ekawempe bwayisi badde bakikola nga bayita abaana waliwo ne bayita obuyisi nga baza bamaze obaridinga nabo bakwata babeta ku police babateekako ebipande nga biriko amanya gaabwe na buli kimu n'ennamba ne bakuba ekibabawa ne ssente kyaliko ne mu bitundu by'ekasozi buddo ku bitundu by'ebijambya mwawuli ebijambya so the same system bagitwistinga butwistinzi bwe bati okukyusamu ekifaananyi okulaga ekifaananyi kirala nnyo bali mu kuprofiling abaana baganda anaabayagala okuleba ebyo byenkugamba oli wa ddembe atayagala biwa kijja kumala kutuuka ku mwana wabula tokuba ku ssimu yange nkwegayidde essimu yange eri ya public togikubako nga weerogoza nti biwayogera bituukiridde ku mwana wange niinyo nedda sirikira woosirikidde embuli etefa yonna awo nawo nvuddewo kati emisana nkoze ka post awo ne mbagamba nti omuntu bwakukyawa ng'obadde omwagala kikuluma nnyo naye omuntu bwakukya ng'obadde tomwagala tekikuluma ka post yako mukalabye naye bino byeyolekera mu mukulu Mathias Mpuuga Nsamba obitaano Mathias Mpuuga Nsamba alina obujja yazimba essabo ku mutima kati afuuwa n'emmindi kyemmanyi takyebaka n'amakasiroza nti tasobola okugamba ne jinga bye byamuviirako n'obutasika n'agoba mu kereziya obutakyasembera lwa kasajja kamuli ku mutima. Omwana buli lwatambula ayogera ku Nuupu, buli lwatambula ayogera ku Kyagulanyi. Naye ng'alina ekibiina kye ekya Alliance Dealers bakyetita Alliance Democratic Sima bikoze bitya. Mu kifo kyo kyogerako n'okuzimba structure zaazo ayogera ku structure za Nuupu, ayogera ku Kyagulanyi, ayogera alogootana. Kumbe yali akyatwagala ffe ne tumugoba mukulu. Kiruma okwagala omuntu ate n'akukyanga obadde okyamwagala. Ojja kutomera okuba omuto wansi ofe. Ne taito kyazisiba, muli munzikiza, muli nga bayeekera, muli ku Kyagulanyi, muli ku Nuupu, mubuuza structure. Structure obadde ozaagaza ki mukulu? Ziwaliyagala okutunda watundako ziwatunda. Zireke ffe Nuupu tetujjakulira ku structure kubanga twamanya mwagala nnyo structure. Mwagala nnyo structure, kana ffe numanyi structure muzaagala. Ffe ebintu bikola mu labadabada style. Omwami ono ebyo biga byayogedde. Wulira bwe yayogedde. Munzikiza.
Musajja ono wakalevaako eru ono bamwogerako naye omusajja wakalevaako eru sikapere era boboga bakadira abakapere tomuweereza omusajja abamuuza tenaye omuntu ono atakulemberako naerosi atakulemberako deklasi moneka.
Alright. Mbona ye twalowooza muto waffe ajja tukulembera naye talina guts, talina bumwata, tasobodde tukulembera naye atakulemberangako wadde kwero si mukulu Bathaasi Mpuuga. Ku myaka gye emikulu gwe kyosinga okubeera muno obumanyirivu kyeki? Kusigula bakabasajja kyekikulu kyomanyi, bufere bunnanfuusi. 1. Ku myaka gya Kyagulanyi emito asobodde okuteekawo ekibiina ky'omufu kye bayita National Unity Platform n'ettabi lyakyo erya People Power. Obadde mu Parliament emyaka 20+. Nga tewasobola kuteeka wadde ekibiina ky'abooki b'akasooli ku kyalo nga kya byabufuzi gwe kyakulema in 20 years. Ogenda maaso n'ogamba mmwe nsaagala mukudda mu bigambo, njagala nkwate mu bigambo bye kimu ku kimu, njagala nkuwadde obudde olwaleero. Bobanga Kyagulanyi bw'oyita omuto ayina headquarter ya National Platform kyekibiina ekisinga okubeera ne headquarters mu East ne Central Africa. Gwe senior politician with grey hair in your head, even inside in your private parts, you can't manage even to open up a political party. You are condemning a younger man who has organized a well-organized party and the second largest party in Uganda. You, the senior one, you are there insinuating, going around, moving around, attacking Kyagulanyi. Kyagulanyi akulemesezza okuggyako Museveni emyaka 25 emabega oba Kyagulanyi kati ye musajja ali mu State House gw'ovuganya naye. Mukulu finito, onjagala obeerenga omusajja omukulu. Eyeyambudde kankikomyawo. Oba eyasuzeeyo ne bwokeera oba wasuzeeyo. Obuzibu olina akasajja ku mutima wali okyayagala Nuupu. Kati kiringa bono banga oyagala omukazi naye ng'omukazi yagala atakwagala oba omulaba bakutwakukyawa twakukoowa. Mukulu yiyayo ebintu by'olina okukolerera si Nuupu. Tuleke tugende twesonyiwe nyumya ku mboozi za DPR yansi bikoze bitya. Nuupu gireke. Nkwata mu bigambo byo kanyongereko ebirala nze ndi wakuddamu wano.
Tutegye bisike nnene bwekyo nzo mukuba mugamba nti dokita tukkirize buli muntu aweebwayo chance okusiga ekyo twakyebuulirako ffenna ng'abakulu nti buli muntu aweebwayo chance mu nsi ejja kuba nsobi nnene omwana wafula omutamuwaayo muki enansi ejja tutegeera
Ogambye nti gwe ne bakulu banno abalina envi mu bifo ebyekusifu mwagamba omwana mmonoka mumweyo mukisa. Mpuuga olina omwana aweze emyaka 45. Ekyo kibuuzo. oyina omwana aweze emyaka 45 gwe gwoyita omwana wo kyekibuuzo ekisooka ekibuuzo ekyokubiri bwe wali ogaba omukisa wakugabira mu kibiina ki kya nnyoko kya kitaawo kya mukazi wo Joyce bagaba emmanga kyali kibiina kyani kiwaweramu Kyagulanyi omukisa olina omwana aweze emyaka 45 te Kyagulanyi nti mwana wo kyekibuuzo ekisooka omukisa agumuwera mu kibiina ki ekya DP Block ekya Democratic Alliance ekya nnyoko ekya kitaawo ekya Joyce bagaba emmanga ono w'emitiyana wamuwera mukisa muki godde wange mu maka gange neetongoleddewo oŋŋambe wampadde omukisa okubaka ku buliri bwange n'okunywera ku giraasi yange n'ekikopo kyange oba otegeera bulungi mukulu kwegamba bagwomokereze butasembera nga tokyali akagati ne viiri obwongo bwagenda si ffe twakugamba ogenda oyende ku bakazi 76 ukalisitiya osula omukisa gwa ukalisitiya oveeko omukisa gw'okusembera osituwalire eddala lumu nkubuuza ebibuuzo biri olina omwana aweze emyaka 45 egyakyaguno okumwisa mutabani mb'omwana oyo walema otuuka omukisa ku myaka 25 gy'obadde mbyobufuzi n'otasobola kwetwala kwefuula ku ttabi lyakye kweteeka ku levu yakyagulanyi gy'aliko olwaki musiriwaza abantu tugenda mu maaso onkwata mu bigambo byo
era ng'omwana waffe ono omwana wa Buganda ono kimuwadde muki era yandibadde ensobi abantu badegambye munammwe ne mulaba ng'alina obuwagizi mutamuwa mukisa muyina ettima muyina enge ne twebuulya ndugamba nti omwana ono tumuwa omukisa ate tumuwa amanyi gaffe mwawulirako ssente ezivudde ku kitebe nga zize Masaka mugende munoonya obuwagizi ekiziweerezeddwa buli kimu mmwe mwakikola mu budde bwammwe mu ssente zammwe mu kwewaayo kwammwe nga mwali enfuufu nga mwali atiyagasi mu kikomera kino waliwo lwe baali bayinjigga n'entoloka waliwo lwe basanga mu nnyumba yange obwo n'abaana babiri baaliko baali bafiiridde mu nnyumba eyo naliko ndowooza ekintambulirako kubanga nali naakatolokawo bwe nti ngenze mu saaluuni ndi mu saaluuni katalina ndolo yangubeera nagenda
omuwulidde n'obulala bukiri kumujja bulaba atuse n'okugamba mbu tebalina gats zijjako Museveni bali mu bintu bye mukulu Mathias Mpuuga njala kutegeeza mu butongole mukulu bwe tuba tuli mu lugendo nga tuvuga obuwulunguta buli kawulunguta kalina enfaana yaako ababuvuga na buli kimu akawulunguta y'emmotoka waliwo abadduka ennyo waliwo abadduka empola waliwo emmotoka nga ziruwoojamye nuupu gy'oli mu kumanyiira yakamala ku luguudo emyaka giri ena gyokka ompuya bulungi gwe emmotoka yo gy'otambuliramu ey'obukuusa nga luloberawo okulonda kwonna either okyankalanya ekibiina ky'olimu oba okolayo ekisimbe ekyonoona gy'ovudde the same thing which you did. So we are not surprised about your behaviors in your political arena in Uganda because you're working hand in hand with the dictator Museveni. So your mission is to block any true opposition or anyone who can challenge Museveni. That is your mission. And I'm asking the public to get to know who is Mpuuga. Whenever there is ongoing election in Uganda or elections, whoever comes out to challenge Museveni and his true opposition, Mathias Mpuuga and Sama make sure that he either joins to disturb that person or he makes sure that he blocks that person from challenging Museveni. That is exactly what you are doing right now. Instead of talking about Museveni or the way how you are going to remove Museveni from power, you are consulting Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and national platform. Mister, tukumanyi history wo bwate wali. Nkwe kwekyusa nga mukagwa mu kanzu kuba tolina kiddako. Kyoba okola genda ogula eddayo muteeke mu nvi. Obedde mukazi obaagala oli mukazi w'empeta mukole emirimu gyammwe. Ebyobufuzi bireke kubanga tewali akuganye kujjako Museveni. gendo ojjeko Museveni ffe totuwa bifo bye tujja kusanga naffe tujja kutuuka olulala nga tutuuse kitugenda okukola kitune kukola. Please don't concentrate on Nope and Robert Kyagulanyi. Concentrate on Democratic Dealers Alliance. Mujjeko Museveni tujja basanga. Our main agenda is to remove Museveni. We don't care who removed Museveni in power as long as nti avuddeko. Fera kasita mujjeko fenga tudda mu kyalo kitune kitwetaaga bwegenda omujjeko feka tusigaleke ebbali kitegedde bulungi nnyo ekintu ekyo kati ate bodda kuffe obanga defendinga Museveni which is okay era tukimu ekyo badde okola ekyo nakyo kimaliriza katugende ku nsonga endala. Budde budduka kati olwokuba nti obudde bugenze abo mu Northern Uganda ngenda kuwaayo muganda waffe eddakiika 3 ayogere buli obaka njera bugenderi bannayuganda mwenna abali mu Northern Uganda njera mumpuliriza bulungi nnyo. Olwakoze video wiiki ewedde ne wiiki ndowooza eno nga ndese muganda comrade strike machine mwana bibiga bitandise okukyuka abakulembeze batandise okuvaayo okondeminga ba MPs abasala okugenda mu NRM n'okwogera ku nsonga z'okubba amataka kyavudde ku video zetwakoze. So I'm calling upon all our brothers and sisters from Northern Uganda, whether you are in diaspora or in Uganda, please don't fall in the trap which we, the Baganda, fall in, because our grandies, they were used by Museveni without knowing his hidden mission. So whatever is taking place in the northern part of the country is the same tricks which Museveni used in 80s up to today. So please be very careful. Encourage your people that Museveni and his younger brother Salim Saleh, their mission is to capture the northern part of Uganda and the east side of it, that is Karamoja, and the other side of the country. The reason as to why they are there is to take over each and everything you have in life, which will force you to get out of that area so they can use that land the way how they want. As we speak right now, I'm going to call my comrade Strike Machine to add on more information about what is taking place in the other part of Uganda. But as we speak right now, let me read this message before he comes in to add on more information. Which way betu wakola video mukwano gwange Strike Machine bya nayogere bigambo ate ko report empya eze nga eva mu district ya Parebek Lamo district nga waliwo ekiraga nti acres omutwalo gumukenda mu 15 mwana acres nezettaka zegabibwa abasajja abanyarwanda abasajja bana banye begabira ndowooza ekazo omumeka omutwalo gumukenda mu 5 mwana bazegabira kati ndowooza kampite Strike Machine azibasomere bulungi nnyo bwana batazisomye bwana bayogera nja kuba nzenze basomera bulungi nnyo mukakase bana basajja nti bajja kutwala ttaka lyaffe naye otogerere sawa zino batandise okugenda ate okujja ente ze bali batadde mu north bazitwala ate Congo nga baagala kochipayinga Strike Machine. Wait, okay, wuno wano kando basobola mufuna tugende maaso. Nsaba na Uganda mugaba abantu bano basale mu videos zino bazitambuze zibenga zimanyikiddwa bannansi basobola okumanya information omulimu gwaffe gwa kuzukusaba na Uganda bonanga tetwawudde. Yes, comrade.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for the great work which you are doing and the information you are providing to the Ugandans, mostly those who reside in the northern part of the country, those who can't access the information, but they can access that information via social media platform. As you know, Museveni controls the mainstream media, including TV, radio stations across the world. So nobody can get information which we are giving right now. So that's my way of appreciating you. And today I've just like to give you like 30 minutes to explain exactly what is taking place in another part of the country, because there are so many people in diaspora who couldn't even get the information about what is taking place in the northern part of the country. So go ahead.
Oh, man, I don't even know where to start from. But there is something that I would like to start from this angle.
Yes.
I believe yesterday. I feel like even talking. Let us talk actually before I even go into into the Ruzumo.
Yeah, increase the volume, please. You can increase your volume from your phone that side.
I have a lot of things that I would talk about.
No
but
problem.
let me first start from this angle.
Yeah.
Yesterday, people saw a video that we did share on social media from all corners, wherever we were, about the issue about people in actually sub-region, men donned in suits, women fat, empty-headed men donned in suits, and women in gomas, kneeling before some old fool, a general in Gulu, by the way. That general is called Temachasa One. They know I'm bringing this issue. This is a very, very serious issue. Can you imagine? Actually, people, those guys are kneeling, those NRM psycho fans are kneeling before the general, begging him to talk to Museveni, said that Museveni can contest in 2026, and then also begging for money. If this actually elites had knelt for, there are very pertinent issues, by the way. You see that general has a wife. The wife comes from Omoro, is a woman member of parliament of Omoro district. She's called Lamara Catherine. That one of his wives, he has many wives, but one of his wives is called Lamara Catherine. He's a member of parliament woman member of parliament for Omoro district, where Jacob Bulanya, the late Jacob Bulanya used to come from. In Omoro district, there are a lot of problems. One, which is very serious, that I would like to bring is the issue of the nodding syndrome. Yesterday, but 2 days ago, first of all, comrades, I don't know if you have heard about nodding syndrome or if you know how the victims behave. When you have nodding syndrome, Golina nodding syndrome, you don't feel pain. You don't feel pain. You don't feel the pain. You can you don't feel pain. That's what happens with nodding syndrome children. 2 days ago, one of them, I think one was burnt in the bushfire. He was just walking, he didn't feel pain, so fire burnt the kid and killed the kid. Another one yesterday here drowned in a river. Went with the people to Gundi, to go and to follow people, other people in a river. So people forgot about him. He drowned in a river. They don't have sense. Their sense died. Like when from the day they got that disease, their sense died. So when their sense died, they cannot feel any pain. I don't know. From then they eat for so long as there is food. They continue eating. They don't get satisfied. So that's one serious issue. So this nodding syndrome is wreaking serious havoc in Omoro. But can you imagine elites in actually are kneeling down to beg Museveni to stand for another term, or begging the General Charles Otemawan for money? Instead of if they were kneeling to ask government to come and help address the issue of nodding syndrome in actually sub-region, which is killing people in Omoro district and Pade district, would be understandable. Would say, yeah, you know what? That is understandable. They have a cause. But they're kneeling to beg this aristocrat to continue ruling us for another more 5 years, then 45 years. That is one very serious issue that pained me. People in a bar are being evicted. Yesterday there was a scenario. Anyways, I will go into that issue later. But then people are having this very same man whom people are kneeling to beg to stand for another term. Is the same man who in the 1980s came and sodomized men in Gulu seriously. Let me tell you one thing. I will share with you a clip of some guy who there's an organization called Refugee Law Council. He's based in Gulu. They did a documentary of people explaining how they were sodomized men. Ngabaja bafuna gwe musaja n'abaana bo ne bakazi bo byonna bajjayo empale yo they do you in your buttocks, in your anus, in the front of your children. Can you imagine that humiliation? They raped pregnant women. Just like you saw the last week, the Balalos. I wrote the names, and the names were on social media. The Balalos, can you imagine these people raped five men raping one man or one woman, a pregnant woman who was 5 months pregnant. The woman lost her pregnancy. Good enough because of the noise that we made on social media. That very night, around 2 a.m. in the night, police, UPDF, they went and raided the farm of that Balalo. That Mulalo, and they arrested 13 people. Later they released the other people and remained with the 5 who did the raping, including the farm manager. Because we mounted pressure and we exposed them, that is when they go into acting. After receiving a bribe of 1.5 million shillings. So that is some. I'm getting my don't wow, yeah, lawyer, my don't take come my lawyer. And the woman been look down on my utility that won't ping in him utema. Ni mo kitile leko chiente ni kitile leko ni museveni miarako chungoda kompi pipitama chie mokene da lui pero mo watikeri ya chuli la kanyi and pero mo watikeri tiene when because of the regime ne ukele wanma because of this regime all our problems in Acholi is because of this regime and you are kneeling again to ask this old man with a bald head who's to foreigner to again rule us for another 5 years. Are you really having common sense? Una woman down to Cadeno Chan, Lutino Ticadeno Chan, you more that down to Cadeno Chan, Matamada, Ipadena Gura, Lutino Ticadeno Chan, it will lose Magdata, trying a rover on Lorier, where end up and get no one going Yimeni. Tiki Lutino, la tela area Malutia Matu Lutie, un pomia Walupoco locking in your own locking, un gooping, Nipino me, Mileko Nimo, Lambing Momere, Comerici, Loya Chonia, Pimahabit Mokene, no one come yore. Lose Permo, Tickeria, Julia, kind of way, you fool will. People forget very quick. They don't even know where, like, don't, you know what is wrong with these actually people? They forget very quick and they remember very little. Few years down the road, just in the early 2000 year, when displacement comes, people died. People are arrested like Nyamachoma. In some place like Nyamachuri in Patong, there was a teacher and a witch doctor were arrested and they was chopped into pangas with the bijambies into pieces and cooked in a drum. And the whole village was forced to come and eat the blood of that passion. That is by this kakistocratic regime of Museveni, by the way. In a place in India, in Atyakia, in Rambe, some place in Atyakia, people were killed. The whole village, there were no people to bury. They had to go and hire people from another village to come and bury people who were being killed. By this very same kakistocratic regime. In Buchar, that is in Pade, in Kitgum, you Namukora Chani, around Namukora, as you go to Kidepo, after exiting Kidum, you pass by Kidmakidin, you go to, as you go into Namukora. There's a mass grave up to now. If during dry season when bush is burned, you see skulls of people. These skulls of dead people. There was a mass grave, people were buried there. I don't know, even 1,000 people were killed and slaughtered in cold blood and buried in Buchar. As you go to Pade, from that part of, when you're from Kitgum, you pass Parogari, you come to Konakla, or when you're from Lira, you come and pass Raiko, then you come to Konakla before branching to Pade. There is a serious mass grave also in very many places. And these people are still kneeling to ask this same fool to rule us for another 5 more years. Instead of kneeling to ask this man to disappear, to go to wherever he came from. Because it's not a Ugandan even. A foreigner ruling us. This is something that annoys me seriously. And the local mainstream media, they're not talking about some of these issues here. You don't hear these things in northern Uganda media. You don't hear. Because Salim Saleh is baiting the media and telling media what media is supposed to say. What media is supposed to talk about. These are all stupid things. Or you remember the other time he even went as far as hiring TikTokers from Kampala to come and tell a common passion.
Yeah.
What government has done for northern Uganda. Instead, now, these people even don't know actually. How would they're talking in English? How would they tell somebody in the village, a market vendor who doesn't even know any English, to do this, to talk about this? Now, another thing that we are really, in actually sub-region, there are eight districts. There is one city, and there is one municipality. That is the municipality, Skidoo municipality, and then the city is Gulu. These are how the problem of the Mapenduzis came on board. In 2020, I was among the people. I even went on a radio talk show. I did say a number of issues. which today is already now affecting people in Gulu City. This is the thing that I talked about. Some in 2020 during COVID-19, before COVID-19 lockdown, towards the lockdown, I did say on a radio station, because because they wanted constituencies, they started advocating for a city status. Now, my point was that before a government grants Gulu a city status, there are 3 things that government is to do if this is in good way. Little did we know that this was initiative of Salim Saleh. Now, in Gulu, we said that government should come and identify everybody who has land titles in Gulu. Identify everybody who has any land title in Gulu, and you give, any plot of land in Gulu, you give them through the established legal platform, give them land titles, so that anybody who comes to Gulu, or any Mulari who comes to Gulu, will come and rent land, will not buy land. That is one. Then 2, in Gulu, there are very many small startups that are already in place. You identify these small startups and inject a lot of money in it, maybe even billions, to ensure that very many young people who are within Gulu, they can get job, they can begin starting to work. If at all you want to give the city status to Gulu, so that the young people are not chased away from Gulu city. They will remain part of the city even after the city status is claimed into Gulu. Then 3, all land that is under freehold, that is under leasehold, should be automatically turned into freehold, so that people have permanent ownership of the land. Those are the 3 terms that I talked in a radio station that was in radio patches. Later, these people were possessed with the spirit, the demons of having a constituency. Now they divided Gulu. Right now there is a lot of gang in Gulu. There's what I call a Gulu. Do you know when there was war in northern Uganda? I want to say this. During war in northern Uganda, what happened was that very many people were abducted by this kakistocrat. You know how the Musevenis did. People were chased into camp, bundled into camp, locked into camp, beaten, what and all. Many were killed, and very many young people were abducted and taken to the bush. Now, when they came back from, including those who were in the NRA era, by the way. So when they came back home, there was supposed to be rehabilitation. Just like a junkie who is busy talking out of alcohol, he's supposed to go for rehabilitation because he has mental problem.
Who?
You see?
Who?
This man here, Kawunyemu, he's also junkie. He has mental problem. Don't you see children who are born in the bush?
So who is Kawunyemu?
Kawunyemu is Mozi. This Mozi man, you see, he's talking like an honest. He's junkie. He needs mental rehabilitation. People do not see him as a sick person, but he's sick. So there are very many young people in northern Uganda who are like that. Very many, by the way. And now, you know what they call them? Ago. Now, these people here, they were not, when people came from the bush, they were not rehabilitated. They were just sent to the community like that. Now, Museveni later comes to begin kidnapping these people, claiming that these are the violent gang of people. You remember last month, 40 young people were arrested. You know, they come and then pick people. Then they take them to some place called Lugore. Lugore is the hell, is the worst prison in Uganda. They take you to Kumenya. There is a very big rock there. So that is where people go for rock crashing. They are taking prisoners there to go dig. You dig from morning until the following, from 6 a.m. until 7 in the evening. Then you come back to the prison. So it's a torture chamber of Uganda.
There is a modern slavery in northern part of the country.
In Lugore, you ask anybody who comes from Gulu or from northern Ghana what the name Lugore means, they will tell you. Now, these are very, they are happening. Nobody's talking about them. They want to tell you, anything I don't take we can take a lot on some of these issues here, which are very vital. Now, you know, the current LC5 of Amoro district is called Lacogne Michael. That man was an FDC cadre. He was FDC until last month. Can you imagine the man left from Gulu, from Amoro? He passed Gulu, he passed Omoro, he passed Lira, he went up to Alepton to defect to Museveni. He defected to Museveni. He joined with Yellow Camp. Now these days in Amoro, there are over 79 cases. This man, do you know what government is doing? Government, I think they secretly piloted northern Uganda, especially areas of Moro. There's a lot of wealth under that land. So what happened is that the following morning you wake up and you find they're saying that this land here belongs to government, it's a game reserve. This land, when they discovered oil, they don't want to tell that this land is oil, has oil, or has gold, or has minerals beneath. They say this land here belongs to government, it's a forest reserve, you should vacate. This land belongs. 79 cases were reported just in this month. Yesterday I was talking to a lawyer. Things are overwhelming. So the LC5 chairperson is the one now. He has a team called Kadogo team, which are moving on ground, getting people's national ID, photo scans, and all this stuff, and land documents, and all this stuff, photocopying them, and all this stuff, and giving it, and giving it, surrendering them to the state. Now, from nowhere, people are being told to vacate because some lands in that one in areas of Guruguru is where next to Lamogi. That's where Lamogi rebellion happened. It's a very fertile land, very very fertile, virgin. Nobody has ever used it. They're saying that land belongs to government. It belongs to government. It's a forest reserve. You remember there was a time, Baby Cool, that funny kid of is it what? Is selling? That Bitani selling kid. He came to Guru and they went to that to Guru. Remember that Guru? They went to Sibane tourism.
Yes.
They didn't know that they were just sent to survey the place. Now today, government is telling people to vacate that place because it belongs to government. It's a game reserve. When did it become game reserve? Yet people have been staying there even before people were brought to camp. People, it comes, displacement comes in the early 2000s, in the late 90s. People were, they have graves that have been there for nearly 30, 50, 100 years. They have graves of people. Now we are telling them to leave. How do they remove those dead bodies and go with them? Because if somebody asks me the grave of the grandfather who died in 1950s, in 1960s, before even this fool called Museveni came around, now they're saying that these people should vacate in Guruguru, in area of Lamogi, in area of if you go to that side, there's a village in Amor also. Salim Saleh has almost 3 villages of land. You stand on one side, you cannot see the last part of the land. He has planted soybean this year. In that park, you see, last year he planted soybean. Yesterday, a friend of mine passed by. They are plowing it again. He has combiner pesticides. He has those things, those machines. He took them to that place. Now imagine somebody. Today we have started. We started working on a document with some groups of people. We unleashed the list of Balalo. This is just a sample. There are more than 1,000 cases that we are trying to compile and put in place. Say that we start a real war against these Balalo people. You cannot come from nowhere and then get 10,000 acres of land, 1,000 acres of land. Who are you? This land had people living in it. You cannot come and say this land. And moreover, this is a customary land. According to the constitution, this land shouldn't be sold. They are communally owned. But you find a one Tumwewa has over 600 acres. Is it a one? Some people I wrote the names on Facebook today. I posted them.
So, comrade dispatch machine. There is a message which circulated on social media which states that the secretary drafted report from the Palabe Luamo district. There was the distribution of land to Balaro. Do you have any idea about that distribution of land to the Balaro? Of the 19,540 hectares of land.
Oh, let me give you details of these people here. Number one, I will give you the past 18 that I did publish, that I did share. But there are very many. There are more than 1,000. The first thing, there's a guy called
Timbagamba Simon, yeah.
Yeah, Timbagamba Simon. They have funny names. He has 300 acres in a village called Aja Ogala in Parabergen,
yes,
County, which is Amor district. There's a guy called Kamanzi John Bosco. He has 1,280 acres in Aja Ogala village, in a Lere village, in a place called Alere. There's a small area called Alere, yes, in Parabergen. There's a guy called Karambika James. He has 300 acres of land in a Jaogala village in Parabergen. There's a guy called Gakumba Moses. He has 1,300 acres in a Jaogala village in Parabergen. There's a guy called Katozi George William. He has 250 acres in a Jaogala Parabergen. There's a guy called Tayebwa. This Tayebwa thing. He has Emmanuel. he has a 1,000. He has a 460 acres in a Jaugala Parabegem, Jaugala village Parabegem. There's a guy called Bashaija Petero. He has 300 acres in Pawich village Parabegem. There's a guy called Fende William. He has 1,000 acres in a Jaugala village Parabegem. There's a guy called
Ndaisiba Slizefsta.
Yes, Sylvester. He has 1,250 acres in Mudu Central village, Nimu. There's a guy called Nahabwe Uweri. He has, this one now has a Uweri name. He has 500 acres in a Jaugara village, Palabegem. There's a guy called Biamogisha Fred. He has 1,300 acres in a Naha South Parabegem. There's a guy called Ramushana Frank. He has 500 acres in a Jaugala village Parabegem. In Namor district, all this is still in Namor district. There's a guy called Bashaija. There's a guy called Kalema Frank. He has 400 acres in a Bura village Parabera. There's a guy called Kamanyapa. Is it Campania Robert? He has 1,200 acres in a Dwara village, Palabera. There's a guy called Kasasira David. He has 200 acres in La Kama village, Palabegem. There's a guy called Barnabas Zidwu. He has 300 acres in La Boyaboro village, Palabegem. There's a UPDF Kano. I forgot the name of that guy. I don't know. I forgot his name. He has 1,000 acres in a Boa village, Palabegem. This UPDF Kano. Last year, if you remember, there was a video that I did post when UPDF officers under the command of Gisu in Mutwini, they bundled the boy and beat him like a log. They tied him. You remember that video that I shared on social media?
Yeah.
The problem is Facebook likes censoring things. So if any of this information are to be available, always are available on my Twitter handle, the same strike machine, so people can get them there. All these informations are there. So can you imagine? This is only Palabegem. This people have over 9,000 acres. Now we leave aside this aspect of Amina, this Salim Saleh's sister, who has been doing, who is invading people's land with the sugarcane plantation in this Atiak sugar. This Atiak sugar has never made profit ever since it started. But government has injected billions and billions and billions of shillings. Every time MPs go to that particular place to make a report on what scam is happening there, they come and then they keep quiet. I don't know, maybe they're threatened, or maybe they're told not to say it. I don't know what happens, but they come and then keep quiet.
A strike machine.
Yes.
Can you please try to explain to my viewers and my listeners across the world and some people from the northern part of the country, they want to know or put more light about these names. Are these names are indigenous from that part of the area, or these are just a proxy of Salim Saleh? Or these people well known in the area, or just the ghosts?
They are ghosts. They are not the man. These are not people. We got. You know how we retrieve the document? We retrieve the document by through conniving with the certain people in public service within the district to get these lands, these names, and all of that, and their documents. All these documents were faked. Were forged. Because these lands here that these people are claiming that they own in Palabegem, these villages, these documents here, this land here, first of all, are customary land. In the constitution of Uganda, customary land are not supposed to be sold or bought in any amount of money. They cannot be bought. Now, and that's why we are launching this particular case, and that's why we are trying to publish so that the world can know. So that it's money. It's all not jakutandika kuzima matame abantu nemikono baki kusamba samba bibina so that muntu omu ategere woni fete tulikusaga lunakuruzi oshegera. Because like some of these people here, we've been grabbing land, they're all proxies of Salim Saleh. And I believe most of, you know what these people did? They came and inserted the Banyarwandas in the army. Now they are in the army. Most of these places here are guarded by army. But they claim that this land belongs to them.
So official, the northern part of Uganda is under captivity of Salim Saleh with his proxies.
That is only Lamor that I mentioned. In Palaro, they are already fronting their own candidate. I hear that front. There are some who came and even intermarried with the people, the locals. Can you imagine? They came, man, all these politicians from Gulu, most of them, 90%, they have wives who are Banyarwandas. I told you even the paramount chief of Acholi, the reason why he cannot talk about some of these issues here, because he has a chotara in his bedroom. If you have a chotara in your bedroom, how can you talk about problems that are affecting your own people? Let me ask you, you have been alive, you've been hearing a lot of stream issues from Northern Ghana. Have you heard the paramount chief of Acholi talking about the issue of land grabbing in Acholi?
No.
Talking about this issue of Northern syndrome affecting people, or this massacre that is happening? Why doesn't he talk about that if you think he's a serious man?
Nowhere.
Salim Saleh gave him a drone the other day, they're flexing and all those stuff. Another thing that is very serious, these are very painful issues in Nugu Yoga, because sometimes I get very pissed and I get frustrated with this kind of issue, because maybe people who are, now, that one is only in Lamore, the one which I have mentioned. In Palaro, which is in Gulu district, the Balalo won that sub-county. There are more than 20,000, is it 200,000 kettles, ads of Balalo. They have in Palaro. They're even fronting their own country. In fact, the general before whom you saw people dealing yesterday in Gulu main market, that general gets money, he's a Balalo guy. He gets money from the Balalo. Actually, he's the one who has been shielding the Balalo in northern Uganda. Man, let me tell you one thing. If anybody in Acholi really was in Acholi during these past years, 40 years of Museveni, I don't think whether anybody in Acholi should have been supporting Museveni after what Museveni has subjected us to. Unless you ito ili me woro chiro mo twa government ni yin ma jono timi ko ma chwil kala kai mo ne ro ki wan mo mo timi kala kai dano ma ki mero gi ayak alanya renyi cho ma ki buru ki dudi butte bu jëm mo ma rejo ma damu ba timi kala kai wo ki chorwe ku bi we kan kwan ku bi chema dan ti je inen kan kwan chi we wu eni ki ko mo di ku bi chawe ni. Then you hear somebody comes and then says something like nonsense like that. So that is only, you leave aside this Amina woman, we want her to leave, because you do know there has been a lot of riot, demonstration among it. She overworks people, she doesn't pay. There are villages, there has been cases. These are things that are ashamed of. You will never hear on media. But if you think I'm lying to you, there are friends who work there, who have resigned. You find a farm manager, he's working, but he is facing rebellion from the staffs because they've not been paid for months. Amina runs that place like the way Museveni runs the country. He wants money, he goes to Bank of Uganda and say, I want money, give me money. Doesn't know how to balance the books and all this stuff. She wants this, she just runs it like she's treating her children. So there has been a lot of problems there. People have not been paid for months. They've been protesting and they're being threatened that if you go and talk on media, you will be arrested or you'll never see the sun again. And those are the things that are telling people. In Atiak Sugar Works, government has been injecting a lot of money in that particular farm, but it has never made any profits ever since. But you still find every financial year, you find these two women. That's why there was time I made a question. These two women, Pinetti, and then Amina, who are these women to Museveni?
Let me give you the answer. Pinetti is Museveni himself with the proxy of that Italian woman. And then Amina, she's related to General Salim Sarakanda now. So those people, Pinetti is an Italian woman and proxy to Museveni. Then Amina is related to Salim Saleh because she's a Somalian. And you know the history. Salim Saleh, his ancestral home or history said that he was born from his mother got married to the Somalian man. They born Salim Saleh. So Salim Saleh is related to Somalian ancestral. That's how they got in, that's how they connected to with that woman Amina the Somalian. So those are the connection between the Pinetti, and Pinetti belongs to Museveni and Amina belongs to Salim Saleh. Both they are indicated in our Ugandan budget. Every budget which they read in parliament, those two people they are indicated in that parliament. That account, in that budget, they get money in every budget. Those two ladies, they are there, Pinetti and that woman of Atiak Sugar Works, Amina, the Somalian woman.
So that is what the Amina is doing the side. But now the next move is that we want to first of all identify and unleash every names of any Balalo or Munyarwanda who owns land in northern Uganda. And we want to begin finding out how they acquired those lands. Because some of these people, let me tell you, when people were in displacement camps, we hear these are some theories that are now coming. When people in camp, these people were now, if they know that, let me say like you, Lumbuye, you have a family in this particular part of the camp, and you have this chunk of land the other side. First of all, okay, this is another strategy.
So let me ask you one simple question. Every financial year, I think there was a budget which was agreed on with the parliament that the people who suffered during the Coney war, they were supposed to be compensated in every financial year. Do those people receive that money, or up to now they didn't get them that money?
It's called the PRDP fund. That is the name of the money.
What?
That was supposed to be.
Repeat the statement.
The project was called PRDP fund. That was to rehabilitate northern Uganda and to ensure that northern Uganda goes back and reset or to join the rest of Uganda in as far as wealth pressure and all of is concerned. Amambab stole all that money. He squandered it when he was still the prime minister. That's why I dislike that man. Before funny man. The time you saw he was going to operate his knees in the other side of Gondi, or is it in Seattle in the United States of America, when comrades were demonstrating against his surgery, and also they telling him to come back to Uganda and then do his surgery from. These are some of the issues. Among Babi stole all that money. Up to now, there's no PRDP fund. Now, another thing, there was, there were kettles. Like my grandfather, the father to the father of my father, he had like around 3,964 cows, herds of kettles. But up to now, as I speak, I think my grandfather has one. I think if he has a lot, maybe 50 cows. The rest were stolen. They were just stolen by NRA, and there was money for cattle. They call it Pachuli. The kettles that were they were supposed to actually people were supposed to be reimbursed with that, because the kettles were actually stolen by the Musevenis, and they were exchanging it with the South Sudanese to another militia groups to get guns those days. So government had the responsibility of reimbursing, but the money never came. The other time you had a man, these people, the other time money for cooperatives were given. You hear the one you saw this fat belly, tummy, baboon, chimpanzee, this man, Kawanda, is it Mawanda?
Mawanda, yeah.
Now, for northern Uganda, there's a cooperative in Pade district. What happened was that money, when Udongato was in parliament, you see the syndicate that these politicians play. Udongato was in parliament at that time. So what Udongato did, Udongato played the deal with the office, is it that OPM, that organization that was established to ensure that money for cooperative were reimbursed to the groups. Now, Udongato was, he studied law. At that time, he was also a member of parliament. Jacob Olanya was also a member of parliament at that time. I think he was a deputy speaker at that time. So what happened was that Odongato played the syndicate with the committee that was supposed to be clearing the money. Now the committee gave condition to the cooperative group whose money was around 1.3 billion, something like that, was supposed to be cleared. So this parliamentary committee, which was headed, I've forgotten, I have the details of that. This parliamentary committee gave a condition to the cooperative members that if they are to get their money so soon, immediately, quick, they have to use Odongato as their lawyer. Odongato's farm as their lawyer. Now, the cooperative on the other side on ground is the cousin sister of Odongato. She's called Cheng Ellen. Right now, she's in Canada, because of this same cooperative scandal that they did. Now, the cousin sister of Udongato, those days when I was still young, I was still in nursery like P1, I used to see her. She was like in senior 4 at that time. Well, I was very young, but I used to know, of course, I could see her. Her father was was a friend to my dad, something like that. So, like, I saw, like the sister, that cousin sister of Dongato, she's called Leia Chengelen. She was a councillor in Pade district. So what happened was that the Chengelen was the chairperson of that committee of that cooperative union. So what happened? 1 billion came from parliament, but do you know the condition that Udonga gave? Udonga was given 300 million as a kickback to ensure that that money by the cooperative union. So it's now remaining on 900. It was like from 1 billion, the kickback has been given to Udonga. That is like 700 million, right? Jacob Ulanya, I got 200, was given 200 million.
They let Jacob Olanya.
Yes, he was given 200 million as a kickback.
So that means the money was shared by individuals.
Yes, it was shared by individuals. Even a king shared part of the money, and some few people, the money did not reach the cooperatives. And Museveni, you see this idiot here, he's moving around the country with spending 15 billion, which billion, Busimanya Operation Well Creation, is it Simanya or PDM? These are the things that we are talking about, which is very serious. Billions of shillings goes to ground and people distribute just bagaba among themselves, and nobody is held accountable. So they shared money among themselves. No, this same Dongato in 20, you know, Dongato was a member of parliament around 2015. You hear there's already a fight, a very serious fight between the Cholis and the Balalo in a place called Aquaranch. Last year, Salim Saleh brought, 3,000 camels in Aquaranch. We have a lot of problems in Aquaranch. Aquaranch initially was around 84,000 acres of land, which was given by the Acholi elders those days to the government of Obot, I think, to ensure that government demonstration farm were established in Acholi sub-region. Was 84,000 acres. But so the rest of the land were owned by communities and all those stuff. We stayed there until the time for displacement to the camps came. So what happened was that Salim Saleh, during the time when Odongato was a member of parliament, for the LC5 chairperson of the district by then was Akena Alfred. The woman member of parliament for the district at that time was called Wulira CD Ukerayot. All of them NRN. Odonga was FDC at that time, but you know how he's a dealer. So what happened? These people, include with the Gisu and the Disu, and then the UPDF command of Agago for the 5th division of Agago, they came, they bred the district council and also they maneuvered and changed the land, the coordinates of that land from 84,000 acres to 108,000 acres of land. So now expanding land, it entered into the community. Last year, you saw when there was serious chaos where everybody was forced to go there, even politicians, because the pressure was serious. To Mwebeze sent 60 tractors. Frank to Mwebeze, this funny man who nearly died in the other hospital in Western Uganda was flown using a chopper to Kampala. I don't know why he did not die the other side.
So you wanted him dead?
Yes, those are the useless idiots that we have around who are inflicting pain onto people. Frank Mwebeze sent 60 tractors. These Banyarwandas came, they were having gun, AK-47. Which man would have got tractor gun, AK-47 go tractor.
Huh?
Oja kuzokanya situla mundu. Kukulai alagira mundu. These people went and plowed people's graves, dead people. They plowed people's homes. It was a very serious issue for nearly 1 month. Now the issue has been silenced, but doesn't mean that it was solved. Right now they are looking for votes. They are moving around. But these issues still remain.
So, Mr. Stoic Machine Comrade.
Yes.
In a nutshell, you are trying to inform the international community, including our comrades in the country, that since NLM government took power in 1986 up to now, the Northern Uganda hasn't gained anything from this government, apart from passing billions of money each and every financial year, but that money is shared by individuals from the part of the country and those individuals in the government. So the indigenous end up getting nothing. That's what we are trying to inform the public.
Very well. And the strategy, they've even complexified or intensified on that strategies of land grabbing. Can you imagine these Banyarwandas? They come with their ladies in northern Uganda. Now these ladies are intermarrying with the locals. You know, they come and marry you, they marry the other persons, and they're schemers. They don't marry anyhow. They marry somebody whom they know this person has very big chunk of lands, or this person has influence in the society, so they marry.
So briefly,
So they are married.
the Rwandese woman, they can't get married to someone who is poor in each and every region.
No. They marry people with land, big chunks of land. That is their first priority.
Oh.
And people who have influence in actually. That is how they marry. That is how the son of Rwagana Rugonda ended up marrying the daughter of the current guy called Santos Apire, who is actually I told you the other week that actually he has 2 paramount chiefs right now who are dividing actually. There is one guy called the one whom Onende Bidachana II, who is a paramount chief. But because he has deals, I told you he has a chotera in his house. There is another one called Apire Santos. There are over 80 plus cultural clan leaders. So these clan leaders sit and then elect one person to be the paramount chief. But then the clan leaders are divided also. So around 38 clan leaders are supporting Apire Santos, and they're with Apire Santos. Now, around 40 something plus cultural leaders are supporting Achana. So they actually now is divided. Now, Apire Santos has his daughter married to the son of Ragana Rugonas. There is a constant flow of cash, of course, on that. You find this one here as a chotera in his house. So we have a very big problem. The problem is that these issues do not come up to the media. Why? Because we don't have cameras in northern Uganda like the way, other parts of Uganda is exposed and all those stuff. And even people who use social media, WhatsApp, they use it for bullshit only.
So, in a conclusion, so the same situation the Baganda and other areas of Uganda, they are facing the same situation you are facing in northern Uganda, and the same tactics which Museveni using in the Buganda region, in Busoga, the same tactics using the northern part of Uganda, using their own resources to capture resources and locals into their traps. That's what you are trying to say.
Very well.
All right. Thank you very much, comrade. I think I'll call you back on Friday to explain more information about what is taking place in northern Uganda. May God bless you and stay blessed. Thank you very much.
For you.
Okay, bye-bye. Ensonga muziwulidde. Omusajja oluzungu alwogera bulungi mulumanyi, siro of America, siro of Angereza. Nga babadde babikola mu Buganda wano, bali bebikola mu mamboka, batwala amataka, bali mu kutta, abakulembeze bali mu kulya nguzi, ensi ebagiwaayo, sente ziyita mu budget ya Uganda. Bana byafuze babaako, abasajja babba omusimbi, eggwanga bati abasajja bagenzi balitwala. Kati bwe tujja okwogera ebigambo bino, abantu abasinga obungi aba NRM ne bamafia bafuna obuzibu okulaba nti eggwanga tutandise oddiwuusa bintu ebimu. Bino tojja bisanga ku TV ya Uganda, tojja bisanga mu papula z'amawulire, tojja kusanga MP nga ava mamboka nga abyogera kubanga babasasula, babagamba basirikana, babatiisatiisa. Kati nsoma kitukola programu zino sirwa kuba tetulina byakola tuzirina. Nze toli nsanga ku video eriko bawemuzi beyambodde bakola kino nfokasinga ku nsi yange. Era kiddamu ono video zenkola za revolution, sikola video za love story, sikola video za individual video nga ngenda consultinga ku muntu no, sikola story nga sijikoze ku muntu mutufu wakola. Nze video zange strictly politics, mumpulidde bulungi nnyo. So ebisigadde nja kubambi bagamba kunaku enkya nyinza okutamba simu, enkya nyinza okubeera open roof nabanga nebase bulungi, then ku Friday, then ku Sunday nyinza okuwumbula mu nyinza obutajja. So nyinza okuba enkyamba w'amasimu kubanga information nja kwefulowinza bulungi binabeeka wempe, then ku Friday nja kubawa information de ku Sunday nja kuwumbulamu. So njala mutegere bulungi nnyo. Ntujja kunsanga ku video nga ziriko byakuwemula byabakazi byalaavu simanyi bikikuba nako wa diversions. Bagezaako kuba ne mwamu atomedde diversion kyagundi, ekyabugembe, mutasimano baby gloria biki. Let me tell you, njagala mbuzirimu mbayigirize buto, ebikino mbitegeere. Omuntu go bakwanye na akwanye teyeetaaga kujja ku TV kulangira bankwanye simanyi ndimbeere. Ebintu mulaba buli kintu kyonna ekiri ku social media ku mainstream media kasaba kiwa airplay manye, that is a diversion ba convertinga. Nola omuntu omukulu go bakyawedda eyagwadda mulavu naako naye agoberera simanyi laavu. Please, ebintu byonna biteeketeeke, bana abasajja bazannya emizannyo gyabwe nga bagimanyi. Mukitegedde, nze togenda kunsa ku biprogrammu ebyo. Nnwanirira eggwanga lya kuba mmanyi obuvunaanyizibwa bw'eggwanga eryo, eggwanga lyaffe eggagga nnyo. kya omuntu wa NRM n'obulamu bw'omukyawe ne wali nnyo kyawewo. Oshitegedde bulungi nnyo. So video de mukama bakome tujja kusinkana kuna French abwe naba nfunya amaanyi mu open law for nabajeri then clock time. Musule bulungi mwerama.